style?
Listen, I would say this first. Um, as a coach in general, your job is one to to develop the players, um, get the players to understand exactly what you want to do schematically, but also to protect the players also. So you hear this jargon of, okay, so AG get a chance to do what he want to do. AG is going to do exactly what he can do with the players that he have and to protect the players. So I would say that first, and then once you start to like inject players that have a certain talent, then you continue to like evolve and try to make sure you do the things that you know that you like to do. So I will say that, and we have like a number of those players. The defensive backs that we brought in um, really fit, I guess, my personality on how we want to get ready to play. The defensive linemen that we have, they really fit the personality of how we want to play. So I'm excited to get ready to do some things that I think overall as an organization that we want to do because we're an aggressive offense, we're an aggressive on special teams, we want to be aggressive on defense also.
AJ, wanted to build on that too. We've always known you like to blitz, especially on third down, bringing in extra pressure, making it tougher than it can be. Seems like maybe even dialed up a little bit more here in camp. I don't know if that's just you testing out guys, seeing what you like, what works, or does the defensive back upgrades, the defensive line upgrades give you a little bit more freedom to be aggressive in that sense as well?
You're right about that, but also this is what training camp is for. To figure out the things that you like to do. How can you attack an offense, and how does it look really? You don't want to just go into a game and just throw things out there. You want to do whatever you can to help the players be able to play, put them in the best position to go out there and be successful. So, but you're right. We do have some guys that can go out there and play press man coverage. We do have some guys that can attack the quarterback. And the more guys you have like that, the more you try to put them in position to go and do it.
Would you say you're ahead of schedule?
When I say I'm ahead of schedule, I would say we're right on schedule, but we're still improving.
What have you seen from Levi from the outside looking in? Looks like a guy who's looked a ton better. Obviously gained 20 pounds and the back's passing is what you've seen from him.
Listen, I think you guys know this. I've been pulling for Levi for a while because the former player comes out in me in that aspect because of the things that he's went through. But he never let go of the rope. He continued to want to learn. He continued to try to build his body to a place where he can go out there and compete at a high level. And I tell you what, you start to see it in OTAs, and you're really starting to see it now in training camp. And listen, we haven't had a game yet, but I will tell you this: I believe that player is ready to take that next step and being a really good player in this league. So I look forward to seeing it game one. I look forward to continue to see him grow as a player in this league.
What kind of resiliency would it take just to even get back to where he was last year, now that where he is now to set him up for success once the season's
Well, the first thing I would say about that is those are the type of players that we bring in the building. So it wasn't a surprise that he continued to work like that. The thing that is when you're dealing with a back, when you're dealing with things like that, man, you just don't know. I have a lot of teammates that I've played with that once they had back issues, it was done. But he kept fighting, and those type of players that we bring to the building, so it's not a surprise.
James Houston affinity for the. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say for James Houston, what's the benefit going to be for him now to play a little bit more on the defense end?
Well, he's you mean defensive end or just
Yeah.
defense? Oh, got it. Listen, the one thing that we know he has a talent at is rushing the quarterback. And when you have a good player, you try to figure out what else can they do because you want them on the field as much as possible. And then Brian Branch is another guy that's just like that. So we tried him at different positions to see if he can bring value in those aspects. But sometimes you got to sit back and you know what? Just do what you do best. That goes to what I was just saying before, man. In training camp, that's when you try things out. So we're going to let him go play defense and we're going to let him go get after the quarterback and let him use those moves that he have that I don't think a lot of people in this league have.
Aaron, I'm curious about anything Brandon Joseph has shown you this summer so far. If you feel better about having a fourth true safety in that spot.
Well, you always need a fourth safety anyway, and most of those guys are special team guys too. So the thing that Bijo brings to this team is he's a very, very heady player. He understands this game inside and out. He's almost like an extra coach on there. So when he's out there with the younger players, he's able to like direct those guys on what we're doing and how we're doing it. And he's been here for a good enough time to be able to understand that. So he's done a really good job of making plays, as we all seen in practice and in games. But that's no surprise either for that player. He's a heady player.
This is an extension of conversations from last year when CJ was here.
Yeah.
You suddenly have a lot of defensive backs that deserve to be on the field because of the talent and what they bring. We see where Iffy is, a little bit more regular to twos right now, but strong finish this season. Really a player that's trending upward. What is the challenge for you in finding playing time for all three of those guys, and even extending to the cornerbacks as Ennis has shown that he's NFL ready too. Like just finding the packages to get all those guys a little taste on defense.
What I would say is a really good problem to have. That means you really got good players. And when you got good players, it helps you overall as a team to be able to go out there and win those games. So it is up to me to be able to figure out packages to get all those guys on there. Listen, you're not going to get every guy on the field, at one time, but there are packages you can get guys out there and get ready to play. We got to take advantage of Ennis. We got to take advantage of TA. Got to take advantage of Branch and Iffy and all those guys that are good players. And we plan on doing that. Iffy's been playing some nickel. Branch has been playing more safety. Meek, is a guy that we brought in. I mean, he's been playing nickel and playing outside. So we try to figure out those packages that we can have to try to get those guys on the field as much as possible.
I wonder if you could talk a little bit about the Sam linebacker position. It seems like it's such a unique position that requires a very unique set of skills.
Yeah.
But it seems like Derek Barnes is kind of taking it and running with it. And I was wondering what his skill set is that fits that position so well, and if there's anyone amongst the depth.
Listen, I'm glad you brought that man up because he probably doesn't get the credit he deserves as far as his development since he's been here. And I put him in the same, not as far as injuries are concerned, but I put him in the same category as Levi, that some guys, it takes a while for them to reach their stride. And he's starting to reach his stride right now. But that position, if you go back and you see how we played defense in New Orleans, we had A.J. Klein, we had Zach Bond that played that position. And those guys have to be able to play on the end line of scrimmage because you want them to be able to rush, which he did at Purdue quite a bit, and then be able to stack back and play true 4-3 defense that he's able to do. So, but those guys have to be able to understand the triangle when it comes to guard tackle, guard center guard, and guard pools and things like that to be able to play. So you're right. It is a unique set that you have to have, but you also have to be a good rusher and be able to drop in coverage. So he's able to do those things. That's why he fits that position so well.
Is there someone amongst the depth that you kind of like their potential there?
Yeah, with Betts, we trained him to be able to do it, and he's been a pleasant surprise for us. Obviously, we try to get Houston to do that. The thing is, but man, Houston's a dynamic rusher, so we want to keep him as a dynamic rusher. But like Barnes is the complete player at that position. You try to identify players like that in college that play behind the ball, that can actually get on the edge and do those things.
Does Will have any ability to move back?
Man, we're trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
And that's what training camp is about. So, but I'll tell you, he's been a pleasant surprise as far as his ability to rush off the edge. So, but the thing is a lot different. We have to stack back and then read that triangle. So we're trying to get them all up to be able to do some things like that.
Different mindset entirely.
I don't want to say different mindset, but just different skill set as far as seeing it, where your eyes are, and some guys are used to being on the edge and just rushing because that's where your eyes are. But when you get behind that D line, there are a lot of other things you have to look at.
How important is that position to what you want to do overall?
Very important because we play base quite a bit. And like I said before, it's hard to find that player. But when you look at those guys in college, you only want to find a guy that can play, as a stack backer, but has the ability to be able to rush.
If Tarian's preseason is over, like he's done, do you know enough about what he is?
Didn't know enough about that player. That's why we drafted him. So from college, we know he can go out there and play man coverage. I mean, you go out there and play an Indian Nick Saban defense. You got to be able to do that. So it kind of compares to what we do. So yeah, we've seen enough, but he's not where he needs to be at. So he has a lot of improvement to do. And man, once he come back from this injury, he got to get out there and get on the grind and continue to work.
He'd be okay for week one playing in some capacity without playing.
Well, I can't say that. We got to see what happens.
How does attitude help form all of this? A lot of guys in the defensive backfield have that attitude. Yeah.
Well, defense is all about attitude, and those are the type of guys we try to recruit on this team. And you see that different personalities. Like you take TA. TA talks a lot, but he has that mentality. Go out there and play man coverage. Ennis doesn't talk a lot, but you see that dog in him, So the thing is, to the core of those guys, they're the same, but they're just different personalities. But attitude has everything to do with defense.
Just curious your early assessment of that.
I don't want to say pleasant surprise, but for a man of his size to go out there and battle, be able to take on double teams, have the quickness to win as a 3 technique, it's been very good for us. And he's going to be a good player in this league. And I don't know if you guys know it, but when you wear that number 18 at LSU, that means a lot. And you see that personality come out that player. He has leadership skills for a rookie that you hardly ever see. The work ethic that he has, for him to change a technique and go out there and execute exactly the way the defensive line coach wants him to do it. You see that in him. So when I look at that Wingo, this is what I say. It doesn't matter what he do in life, he's going to succeed because that's just who he is. He could be a CEO of a company. He could be a big-time football player. It doesn't matter. He's going to be successful.
Guys, time for 2 more.
A few things are more valuable than experience for a young player. Jack got a lot. He's a rookie, a lot of snaps in defense. So how has he been able to take that early experience, the early mistakes that you go through as a young player? What do you see in terms of growth from that player?
Well, listen, I'm putting a lot on Jack this year just because I know that he can handle it. And I told him once he came back, the rookie tag is off you right now, bro. Well, it's time to go. And I'm not saying that because he had a bad season last year at all. I thought he had a really good season, to be honest with you. But just the taking over the huddle and starting to take that jump to be that guy. Listen, we know Alex is the leader of this defense, but Jack has those leadership skills to be able to be that guy at some point. So, and I would tell you, man, his ability to drop in coverage has improved tremendously. And those are one of the things we're going to ask of him. His ability to match guys has improved tremendously. And that's going to help us be a better defense. So every day he's chopping wood and getting better and better at those skills.
Is that just him seeing it? I mean, because we know he's got the physical skills. Is he just processing it better for him?
Absolutely. And that was one of the toughest positions to play in. When you play stack backer in this league and you have so many things that's going on, the way the offense is set up now, it takes a while for a young guy to be able to understand and see those things. And once he see it, he got it. He got it. And as an inside backer, you have to have those things to be able to play at a high level.
Last one, Dave. Had a pretty strong string for you. Just curious what you've seen from him so far.
Big, long, athletic, can rush the passer, continue to put him at end. We actually tried him at Sam backer also to see if he has that skill set to be able to do that. And that's a different deal for him because he has to stack back, and be able to read the triangle. But man, we want to take advantage of his ability to come off the edge and use that long arm, where that's one of his best moves. And then he has some counters off of that. So I'm excited to see him play in this preseason a lot to see exactly what he brings to the table.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, good?
Thank you.
All righty.